Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Sparkle. The other day I drank a glass of wine, one glass, and I woke up the next morning with a headache. So today we're gonna do a sort of general flow for about 20 minutes or so, and then we're gonna go into my go-to sequence for curing a headache. And I'm gonna use some props. So I've got 2 blocks and 3 blankets pulled out. So go ahead and roll out your mat and let's get started. Let's start standing at the top of the mat, feet hips width apart. Turn the palms out to the sides, and on an inhale from deep within your pelvis, stretch out and up, arms to the sky. Just the arms are going to move here. Exhaling, release. Spin the palms to face out and fanning up with the breath. And exhale. It's the simplest way to begin a yoga practice, and I love that. You're just connecting with the breath. The most important thing is that you have begun. You've taken the first step, the first breath. So with that in mind, really tone your breath, making it resonant in the back of the throat. And continue just flowing so that the movement is an expression of the breath. Just breathing right into the shoulder joints and reaching on an inhale all the way from the pelvis out through the tips of the fingers. One more time. Exhale. Now, arms by your sides, interlace behind the back, bend the elbows, and with your thumbs pressing right into the back of the sacrum or the tailbone, lift up from the inner body. So you're lengthening the side waist, side ribs, and then stretch from the outsides of the shoulders, the outer shoulders back through the elbows. So you're getting this big opening across the front of the chest. Scoop the tailbone down, keep the front of the chest lifted, and then inhale. See if you can take the thumbs off your pelvis, reaching your elbow tips back and up. Big breath here. So we're looking for the feeling of wrinkling between the shoulder blades. So you're really squeezing the shoulder blades in. And then on an inhale, from the tailbone stretching down, lift up through the heart. And then from the back of the heart, stretch through the elbows. So you're going all the way out through the knuckles. And exhale, release. Oh my God, already, right? Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Step the right leg back. Back knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Same breath quality. So the movement is an expression of your breath. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, switch sides. Left leg back, knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. So really luxuriate in the movements, and more than that, in this time within your day. Forward folding at the front of the mat. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up to the sky. Full stretch from the low belly to the tips of the fingers. Exhale, hands in prayer. Inhale, arms up. Hook the thumbs overhead. Take a big stretch. Straight up through the tips of the fingers. Exhale, side bend to the right. Pressing down through the left foot. Staying in the side bend, roll the left ribs back in space just slightly. Inhale, stretch up. And other side. So from the right leg connecting down, lean up and over to the left. And then roll the right ribs back just slightly. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Step the right leg back. Bring the back knee down. Inhale, arms up. Same thing here. Hook the thumbs. And on an inhale, first sort of rebound deeper into the pose. So you're grounding into the front thigh. Inhale, lift up from the low belly. And then exhale, sway up and over to the left. Same thing that we just did standing. Inhale, back up. Exhale, step to the front of the mat and fold. Inhale, left leg back, back knee down, flowing with the breath. Hook the thumbs, ground into the front thigh, and from that deeper place, lift up through the low belly and heart. Exhale, swing over to the right. And the same thing that we did standing, you can roll the left ribs back just a little bit to deepen the stretch. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, down dog. Stepping back. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Same thing that we did standing, with your forehead on the mat. Interlace the hands behind you. Put the thumb tips at the tailbone, and then from the outer shoulders, roll up and back, pointing the elbow tips up towards the sky. Keep that shoulder blade energy drawing in towards each other. On an inhale, scoop the tailbone. See if you can lift the head, curling into a little cobra, or really a locust pose here. From there, as your tailbone scoops, lift from the outer shoulders to the elbow tips so much that the hands leave the back with the elbows still bent. Scoop the tailbone one more time. Take a deep breath up the side body. Stretch through the tips of the elbows, all the way through the knuckles, straightening the arm bones. One more big breath in. Try to lift all the way up to the waist. Whew. Exhale. Child's pose. And down dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up to the sky. From here, roll the right hip up and over the left, breathing and widening the front of the waist. Lift the underside of the left arm. You can probably feel the left upper arm wants to drop down here. Let's lift it up. So you're keeping it buoyant, and from there, stretch back from the heart up into the hips. And exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Turn the back toes out. Grounding into the front thigh. Let's sweep the arms, warrior one. Same arms we've been doing. Interlace, knuckles at the back of the pelvis. So first we connect to the earth always. So grounding into the front thigh, and then from there connecting from the pelvis up on the inside of the body, expanding as we fill the whole heart, side waist, side ribs with breath. And then on an exhale, roll the outer shoulders back like we've been doing. So extending more through the elbow tips, and then stretch the knuckles. So you're stretching through the elbows, getting those arms way off the low back. One more time, deepen into the front thigh. From there, pressing down through the outside edge of the back foot. Lift up through the front of the chest and just curl into this warrior one. Inhale, release the arms to the sky. And down dog. All right, let's do the other side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Bend the knee. Open up through the front of the pelvis. Just feel awareness to the right armpit, right upper arm. lift that part of you away from the ground, and then keep it lifted, and then spiral the front of the heart more to the left, but keeping the right arm lifted. So you're lifting all the way up from the heart to the left waist, to the sky. One more big breath. Press the hands into the mat and forward to get your center of gravity more back in space. Exhale, warrior one. So left foot comes forward, turn the back toes out. That same sequence. Arms up. Exhale. Hands interlaced. Thumbs at the back of the tailbone. Roll down through the outside edge of the back foot. Sit deep into the front thigh. And inhale. So we root into our connection to the earth from the waist down. So your sitting low of the front thigh is like an anchor dropping into the roots of your pose and into the earth. From there, lift up from the pelvis through the side waist, side ribs. Take that extension up through the heart and take it from the outer shoulders back into the tips of the elbows. Whew. So it's a big back bending moment. Keep that energy from outer shoulders through the elbows, and then inhale. Start to straighten the arm bones. Watch the head. I know it's tempting to let the head come forward here, but keep the head right over the heart. So we have pelvis, heart, and head all stacked over each other, like towering in height from your pelvis up through the crown of the head. One more deep breath. Lift the upper arms more back behind you. Take the tops of the ears back. Inhale, sweep up through the front of the heart. And inhale, release arms to the sky. Exhale. Down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhales to Sphinx pose. So we've got our elbows right underneath the shoulders. And then sweeping the right hand, right fingertips to where the left elbow is. Let's roll onto the outside of the right hip. So here we are, feet flexed. Outside of the right hip on the ground. First, take your left hand and just press right into your pectoral muscles here on the right side and move that right shoulder blade back in space. So we want to feel a wrapping of the shoulder blade in towards the back of the heart. From there, if you can keep that shoulder blade back, left arm goes to the sky. Let's have some fun with it. Take the left foot now back. Come up on the tiptoes and inhale, lifting up to this variation of side plank. It's kind of like wild thing, side plank. Take a deep breath in, take the top arm all the way overhead, and then keeping the right shoulder blade wrapping to the back of the heart, turn the pelvis and roll your heart to the sky from right to left. Scoop the tailbone, press down through the outside edge of the back foot, and one more time, lift and turn towards the sky. Exhale, let it all unwind back to Sphinx. And we'll go right into the other side. All right, here we are. Take the left hand over to where the right elbow is. Roll to the outside of the left hip. So here we are, going step by step. So before you weight bear on the left shoulder, take your right hand, touch the front of the shoulder just underneath the collarbone, bringing awareness and wrapping the left shoulder blade back more onto the back of the heart. From there, take the right arm to the sky, keep that left shoulder blade wrapping, put the right foot on the ground, just like a kickstand behind you like you would for Wild Thing. And then you can look down. That, for a lot of people, will help keep the left shoulder blade wrapping to the back of the heart. And here we go. Lift up. Take the right arm overhead. Now start to make a rainbow shape. So you're lifting up high. Keep the left shoulder blade wrapping to the back of the heart. The hand's going to go more towards the ground. This right hand extended arm. Curl it more down to the ground. And then from there, scoop the tailbone, lift and turn. Left side of the chest to right side. Big breath in. Exhale. Gracefully. All the way back down we go. Forehead on the mat. Regular cobra. Roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Keep them connecting. Inhale. Maybe even close your eyes for a moment. Feel where the weight falls in your hands. For most of us here, the weight will dump to the outer wrists and the little finger side of the hands. So really press down through the L created by your thumb and index fingers. Whew. Now fully roll the upper arms back in space. Inhale, lift up through the chest, look up. We want a natural extension from the back of the heart through the back of the neck. Exhale. And child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees. Let's take down dog. Just feel how everything is sitting. We want to take a moment to collect ourselves and reflect periodically. So we're looking back at how the last 20 minutes have been so that we can make adjustments to love ourselves and be even more careful. Lift the undersides of both arms, staying in down dog. And from there, from the sides of the heart within your body, lift up into the back ribs, stretch up and back into the back of the pelvis. And from there, stretch down through the bones of the legs, heels to the earth. Inhale. Come forward to plank. Exhale, knees. And release. All right, one more back bending pose. Bend the knees. Roll the shoulders back in space. Now let's just have some fun with it. Come up on your fingertips, taking the hands wider than your mat. Roll the shoulder blades up and back. And flex the feet. You can imagine that your feet are the legs of a table here. There's a tray on top of your feet. You want to keep it all balanced. Scoop down through the tailbone and inhale, lift up through the chest. Roll the shoulder blades, both sides, into the back of the heart. And one more time, reaching up. All right, remember this feeling. We're going to try to do it without the help of the arms. So you're going to have to come all the way down first and then take the arms back. The palms will be spun out towards the outsides of the mat, towards the left and right side. And then as you roll the shoulder blades onto the back of the heart, press down through the thighs, scoop the tail. So if we do both of those things, we'll feel the abdominals engaged. That's great. We want that. I can already feel it. And then inhale, curl the front ribs off the ground. Now imagine the backs of the hands could reach each other behind the back. So there's a big, open, flying feeling here and a huge strength and powerful energy all the way up the back. Scoop the tail one more time. Curl a little higher off the mat. Exhale. Hands and knees. Down dog. Reach the right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot between the hands, and then pivot all the way to the left. So we're using this long left edge of the mat. Up on the fingertips, lengthen. So we come to a flat back position here. Scoop the tailbone down, and from the low belly, reach through the heart. And exhale, we're going to dive with as much space through the front body as possible. Diving down between the legs. Hang on to the outsides of the ankles. So we're going to use this as kind of a cooling and a bit of a transitional pose in the sequence. So from right here where you are, bend the knees by taking the tops of the shins forward. And with that, lift the arches, rolling the outside edges of the feet more down into the earth. Keep that. Keep the tops of the shins moving forward, and then stretch through the thigh bones, through the shins, stretching into the center of the heel, into the earth. So we're really lengthening the back surface of the legs. Just let your head be heavy, let the shoulders be heavy. Really dive into the breath. We want to luxuriate. These breaths are unscheduled, so they're free from any time constraints. It's like having a day off in the way that you're breathing. So you're breathing as if you have all the time in the world. One more. All right, inhale, fingertips back to flat back position. Let's walk forward, step to the front of the mat, and release onto your back. Grab a block if you have one around. We're going to go all the way onto our backs. Take the block between your upper inner thighs. Place the feet for bridge pose. Now from here, we're going to lift and roll the shoulder blades onto the back of the heart one at a time. So you're giving your full attention to the left side, connecting it to the back of the heart, and then same thing, full attention to the right side. From here, scoop the tailbone, pressing through the feet, and curl one vertebrae at a time, coming up into bridge. So the exact same actions we did earlier, we're going to do again here. So scoop the tail, breathe into the front of the heart, and from there, from the outer shoulders, you can even bring your thumbs to the outer shoulders so that you know exactly where the landmark is, where we're moving from. From there, roll down into the ground, and then you might find you can roll the shoulders one at a time even more deeply. Keep that outer shoulder rolling down, and then press through the tips of the elbows. Roll the inner thighs down, so you're squeezing the block and at the same time sending the block towards the ground. Scoop the tailbone, lift up through the heart, and then as you dig in through the heels, stretch forward through the thighs. Like imagine your thigh bones are lengthening, the knees are lengthening like there's a wall or a friend for your knees to press right into as you stretch the body. Exhale, release. All right, release the block, just an easy twist. Let your knees fall all the way to the right, all the way to the left. Okay. So we're going to do a supported bridge pose now. So a lot of focus on bridge pose in this class. It's actually such a good pose I'm rediscovering. So with your block, you can go any height that you want, but go big for this. So I'm putting my block all the way on the tallest setting underneath the sacrum. And I'm placing the block so that it traces the sacrum. So the like mid width of the block is going from the top of the sacrum to the tailbone. From there, lift and curl the shoulder blades one at a time. See if you can interlace the hands around the block. Now in every pose we want to settle in, we want to make this work for us. So you can wiggle your feet around, get to a place that feels like the energy is flowing in the best possible way. All right, we'll do some training for the alignment for the pelvis. So as you press down through the left foot, roll the left inner thigh down. You might even feel the left hip stick out just a little. Keep that, and then draw the right knee in towards the chest. Take the right leg up to the sky. We're doing a one leg bridge pose here. Flex the toes on the extended upward leg, and then move the right hip, so that's the outer hip on the top leg, away from your heart. Keep it pressing away from you, and then stretch the heart up towards the sky. So you're kind of curling or arching, almost like with your heart, you're just moving out of the pose away from the ground. Really get a nice pulse into that lifting chest. Each inhale brings a new lift. Exhale, switch legs. So right foot down, left leg up. It's a general form. From there, from the inner thigh of the right leg, root down through the root of the big toe and the inner heel, widening the right hip. Keep that. And then stretch the left hip away from your heart. And I can already feel the stretch in the top leg from that action. So hang on to that. And then inhale as you extend up from the top heel right into the sky. Press back through the head, press back through the outer shoulders, and lift up really high through the heart. Kind of like you're inflating your way out of the pose, almost like you're about to lift right off the ground by lifting the heart here. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, come off the block, and release. Just feel your spine. Stretch the arms overhead. Just take a neutralizing breath. Let your knees be like windshield wipers, side to side. And exhale, rolling to the left side. All right, taking this a little further. So I've got 2 blocks nearby, 3 blankets. If you have 1 or 2 blankets, that could work as well. 3 would probably be even more sustainable for your neck. We're going to keep the back third of the mat bare and put the blankets so that you can see that back third. This is where the head's going to go on the mat. And then we're going to go into variations of plow pose, shoulder stand, and bridge, all with the shoulders on the blankets here. So I know not everyone probably has blankets, but just to give you a sense, when I was young, like when I was doing this from the ages of like 20 to 25 or 30, I wouldn't use blankets. In fact, I still sometimes don't use blankets. But for most people, it's going to feel more comfortable. You'll be able to hold the pose and get more benefits from the pose if you can hold the pose longer. And for that, we want to use blankets. So all that being said, let's lay back. Have your blocks nearby, within reach. Lay back so that you can rest your head on that back third of the mat with just about an inch of blanket to pinch over your shoulders. Just take a breath here. All right, and then from here, we're gonna lift up into our bridge again, taking the block back into under the pelvis on the highest setting. Lift and roll the shoulder blades one at a time. All right, if you were able to go all the way up to the tallest setting of the block before, you'll probably feel like, oh my God, it's easier all of a sudden. Yeah, because your shoulders are lifted. So to work with that, we're gonna grab another block. This one I'm keeping on the lowest setting, at first anyway. I'm gonna walk my feet in with the heels lifted, so tiptoes, lift up, and then we're gonna squeeze two blocks. One is on the tallest setting, and one is on the smallest or shortest setting. And you're gonna lift up on your tiptoes and wiggle it around so that you're right at the perfect spot. Remember, you wanna make this breathable. So it needs to feel sustainable for your breath. Once you get that general form, again, lift up and roll the shoulder blades back to the back of the heart. Walk my feet out a little bit, interlacing the hands. This is such a beautiful, in fact, this is my new favorite pose. Kind of always switches based on what I feel like my body needs, but lately it's been this. From there, just like we did before, with the left foot connecting to the ground, roll the inner thigh down, just sending a little extra energy down through the root of the big toe, the inner heel. Pull the right knee into the chest and stretch the right leg up to the sky. So same pose that we did. And in the same way, from the left inner thigh rolling down and pressing the foot into the earth more, move the right hip away from you and stretch up through the right heel. The deeper you can breathe, the better. And that goes for the whole practice and craft of your yoga journey. So you can adjust the outside of the shape to breathe more deeply, or sort of integrate, or even embody the shape more. Do it. That's what it's all about. One more deep breath. Exhale, let's switch legs. So right when the right foot connects, roll the inner thigh down to the root of the big toe. It can help to lift and spread the toes on the bottom foot. Keep that. Move the left hip forward and stretch up through the left leg. From the right inner thigh pressing down into the right foot, move the left hip, so that's the top leg now, that left hip away from you and stretch up through the heel. Okay, let's see if we can take both legs straight up to the sky. So you're going both legs together, and this is a beautiful modified shoulder stand pose. If shoulder stand is too much, we're going to move our center of gravity into the outer shoulders and see if we can slowly go up and over into plow pose. So for plow, I like to move one block so it goes under the toes. And then with your other hands, you're going to have to fish out those blocks. The reason why is that we don't want to forget they're there and then come out of the pose quickly and fall on them. So in plow, walk your hands, getting the Shoulders positioned just right so that your neck feels okay. Walking the hands up the back is the name of the game. From there you can wiggle your feet around. Generally in plow, lifting the thighs towards the sky is going to help us lengthen and get more of the stretch for the backs of the legs and the back. All right, and then very strategically now, we're going to try to go into shoulder stand with a block between the shins. So do what you can to get a block there. Squeeze it. We don't want to drop the block, but slowly lifting up, moving the shoulder blades one at a time. The block is very purposeful here. Where there is engaged muscles, there is blood flow. So squeeze the shins into the block. Walk your hands up the back. So we're bringing, with the block and the muscular energy of the legs drawing in, we're keeping some blood flow in the legs, which is keeping it from going too much too soon into a head rush. So it's very important, especially for those who have blood flow, like high or low blood pressure or anemia, or anything that is not the optimal regulation of circulation, which includes me. I get really head rushed, so this is why I'm teaching it this way for anyone else who's like me. Flex the toes, keep squeezing the shins into the block. Now I see most people just breathing into the low belly here. We want to be breathing into the ribs three-dimensionally as well. Keep the gaze straight up. We want just a little bit of space, and you'll notice that my voice sounds normal here, so you want to have that feeling too. You don't necessarily have to test, but you want to be able to feel like you could speak normally, and that's how we know we're not putting too much strain or demand on the neck and the throat. Keep squeezing the block, flexing your toes, stretching up off the waist to the thighs, the shins, the heels. So in Light on Yoga, the most important book about yoga, which is I'll link in the description of this video, I think everyone should own it and read it. It says to hold this pose for no less than 5 minutes. So I think that we've been more or less in variations of this pose for that long already. So I'm going to take it back into plow, putting the block back under my toes. And then taking this and connecting it to a forward fold by bringing the hands to the feet. So it's basically just like a seated forward fold, but you're on the backs of the shoulders. So from this position in plow, we're going to take a slow-mo transition, one vertebrae at a time, ironing out the back, coming out of the pose, all the way back down. The slower the better. I'm going to iron out and experience each vertebra. Once you get out, we'll take a variation of fish pose by shimmying the body back until the back of the head is on that back third of the mat, the shoulders on the back third. Heels out, toes in. Just let your knees rest right into each other. This is a big sort of turn in how we want to approach the practice. So be much more at ease, kind of like we're coasting now with our effort. You're just letting it be easy, letting your body breathe itself. Allowing the weight of you to just rest and connect to the earth. See if you can feel the subtle flow of energy settling in your body, in your upper back, the subtle stretch of fascia and musculature up the front plane of the body, from the navel through the front of the heart. And gently letting your knees start to move first, just a little side to side. Very gently building a little momentum that's going to take us on to our left side in a fetal position. The head below the heart. With the head resting on the left bicep. It's kind of like your arms are a pillow here. We did so much work to regulate our energy flow and release pressure and move stagnation from within the body. We want to make sure that we can integrate as much of that hard work as we can. So make this transition really gradual. Coming up to seated. Slide the blankets, if you're using blankets, out of the way. Take one of the best neutralizing poses for about 5 breaths, coming into down dog. So I love to remind folks that this is your most mature downward facing dog in your life yet. So you do this with an open mind. With a just sense of really respecting the learning process that is present every time we do this pose. Knowing that the best thing you can do is be receptive and listen. One more breath. And gently releasing hands and knees. All right, let's come to seated. So we're going to set up here for some breath work. So you'll want to have your thighs in a downward flow. So we do that by lifting the hips. You can sit up on your blankets or block. If you don't have any of that, you can actually roll up your mat like almost all the way, and then sit on the rolled up part with your legs resting on the little flap that's not rolled up. Take a moment here. So your yoga practice has the potential to be very transformative, and within that there's a lot of responsibility and respect. So it's always important to take a moment, especially when you do a really deep practice, to just see how it's all sitting. To just re-acknowledge how powerful the poses are. So we're going to finish with alternate nostril breathing, which is a powerful pattern that opens up the essential column of the body by opening up the two energy channels that unwind and end through each nostril. So it's a figure 8 pattern. It's going to go in through the right side, out through the left side, in through the left side, and out through the right. So you can visualize the figure 8 pattern as we go. I'll talk you through it. Index and middle finger of your dominant hand to the third eye, or the point between your eyebrows. Relax the shoulders, sit up tall, close the left nostril, and breathe long, slow, and deep in the right side. Plug the right nostril and exhale out through the left. Breathe in the left side now. Plugging the left side, exhale right. That's one full cycle. Let's continue. Left side blocked, inhale right. Blocking the right, exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Keep going. We'll try to continue this for 2 more minutes. Take the longest, slowest, deepest breaths you can. Inhale left. Exhale right. I'll do it with you, so we'll keep following that pattern. I'll talk you through one more time. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. All right, let's see if we can remember the pattern. We'll do 1 round all together. The next time you breathe out through the right side, rest both hands, palms face up on your thighs. And just feel how nice it is to breathe in through both nostrils at once. 1 deep breath here. Let's transition into Shavasana for just a couple minutes of integration. Laying back, scanning and releasing all your effort. So this pose is all about receiving and just allowing your body to heal itself. It's a practice of allowing ourselves to have faith. So I think faith allows us to be able to step back. We can finally let go of everything that we're trying to force in our lives. And trusting that there is a brilliance that is unfolding. That our prayers are in the process of being answered. Slowly you can start to move through your fingers and toes with deep respect for this state of healing that we have created within us. So we want to value that highly, keeping it undisturbed as we roll gently onto the left side and come up to seated. Let's take one last moment of closure, the hands in prayer. Take a moment to remind yourself that everything that we just did and shared together came from within us. It's a creative process of bringing out your own potential for healing and your own potential to change as a human being, to change your life and to change the world around you. So I can't thank you enough for sharing this experience with me. If you enjoyed this class, please like and subscribe if you'd like more of these sessions. And until next time, thank you again so much. Namaste.
Flying too close to the sun.